fits nicely in our collet. Let's see how far down we're going to go. We don't need to go all the way down, so that'll be fine. I moved that to the middle and just got it squared up. Actually, let's check it this way. Looks pretty good. Good enough for what we're doing. Yeah. Alrighty. We're not perfect, but we're within a thou, so. Okay. Alrighty, this is going to be my first test of the bolt hole circle function. Alright, we're going with 7 holes. Actually, in our case, they're going to be scallops. I got an arbitrary depth set. 5/16 end mill. Not liking that. Let me take a look. Well, the cut looks okay, and so does the end mill, but I think we're getting some deflection, and then it's grabbing as it comes out of the in and out of the cut. This is a reduced shank end mill, so it doesn't have a lot of rigidity. So I'm going to switch over to a standard, although I can only go about 3/4 deep. I think I'll run around and do one pass with this one and then come back and see if we can put this one back in. Let's see what happens. Alright, I'm changing the plan. So that was a 5/8 end mill, and I was splitting the cut 50-50. But you know, that's leaving a pretty sharp edge. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to a 1/2 inch end mill and increase our circle diameter so we take less of a cut and we won't have that sharp angle on the edge here. So let's try that instead. Put in the larger cutter, 1/2 inch cutter instead of the 5/16, and we are going to change this to 1.5 inches. So 1.5. Okay. All right, let me get that set up and see how it looks. I adjusted our circle diameter one more time because we were going to leave a little artifact with the 1.5 inch diameter. So I went to 1.45. So let's see what happens. Well, Mr. Bozo showed up. We were going good cutting these flutes or scallops or whatever, and I got a little too aggressive on the feed, and it just kicked the part out. Oh boy. Okay. Well, luckily I had put a little center drill mark in there, so I was able to reset, find our center again, get everything squared up. I'm going to go ahead and finish it. I mean, it's just going to be a knob, so we'll see how it looks. But I'm going to go ahead and finish it, and then we'll reevaluate. Well, that was not a good method to do that. I wanted to try out that bolt circle function on the DRO, and that part worked good. But yeah, well, that cutter was kind of dull also. So I mean, some of these look okay, but then there's our goof up right there, and we were getting a pretty poor finish in there on the next two. So it's just going to be a couple knobs. I can get one decent one out of the bottom. They're only going to be about 3/8 of an inch thick. So I can get a good one out of the bottom, I think, and an okay one out of the top. So I think the right way to do these flutes is with a ball end mill horizontally, or a wheel cutter horizontally. Okay, well, let's go to the lathe and do the rest. Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome to the next day. So, thought about this overnight and woke up this morning with some fresh brain cells. I mean, we could use this, but I'm not going to be happy with it. I'm going to see that damaged spot every day and just, you know, I'll end up just hating it. So, I want to redo this. I mean, we did learn how to use our bolt hole function on the DRO, and that worked really good. Just this stuff was just too hard to mill out the way we did it. So what are we going to do? Well, I have another piece of material, but I think this is bronze. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's bronze. I don't want to waste this on just making some nuts. So I dug around in my scrap bin and I found a chunk of aluminum. Okay. And it's what I think it's 1 3/8, so that should work out good. And this is long enough we can clamp that right in the vise. But then how are we going to index it? So I was thinking, well, I could turn one end down, so I could get it in a collet, put it in the hexagon collet block. But then I remembered, hey, wait a minute, you got a rose index. So I think this is going to work out good. We can clamp that on one end. Still got plenty of meat here to clamp it in the vise, and then we can just do a horizontal function with a ball end mill. It's a 1/2 inch ball end mill. I think that'll be much better and less chance of having a disaster. All right, let's head over to the mill and get that set up. All right, one issue solved, another one created. If I flute this all the way to the end, it's going to affect, as we rotate the part, how the vise clamps our workpiece. Because we're going to end up with the flutes either against the jaw or against the bottom. But we only need 1.5 inches of material. So as long as we leave, sorry, my arm's in the way. As long as we leave some on the ends, let's say we stay between here and here, then our vise will still be able to clamp, and it won't affect our center or won't affect our height. And then for our indexing, I know you guys won't be able to see this, but I've got to use a parallel up here, just laid flat, because our vise jaw doesn't let us come in all the way with our square. So we'll just lay a parallel, something like that, and we'll be able to come in here and do our indexing. I'll do that part off camera. I picked up this edge finder. It's a new old stock at a machinery sale a couple months ago. First time using it. It's a Glover. It's really cool looking. It's like a kind of like an old Art Deco retro style. I got a little Mickey Toyo one that works really nice, but let's try this one out. Alright, I'm just going to touch off and then start milling down to something that looks appeasing. I mean, there's no dimension or anything that we're going to. The length of the flute isn't super critical either, because we're going to be trimming off, you know. Alright, I'm going to lock the quill. Start bringing the knee up. Just get a kind of a roughing pass in here first. Go a little deeper. Okay, I just zeroed the knee. I'm going to drop back down. Let's have a look and see if we like that. Not bad. I might just take just a little bit more. Let's take another 20 thou. Let's have a look at that. I like that. I think we're going to just go with that. Okay, we shall index around. All right. Well, that worked pretty good. No complaints. I didn't want to take this off in case we needed to come back in and doctor one of these up. I just eyeballed the step over, so they're not all the same, but we're going to be cutting this off, so it doesn't matter. Okay, let me get set up over in the lathe. All right, I just cut off the majority with the bandsaw, and we're just going to face it off. All right, well, that cutter's not going to work for the next op. Get a measurement. All right, so we need to take off 1/8 of an inch off the end, but we're going to leave a boss, a 800 thousandths boss in the middle. Stop a little shy. Stop at 820. And let's take the rest of it. Close enough, and we'll back out, and let's have a look. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's slow that down a little bit. Alright, I don't have a good quality M10 tap, so this one doesn't have a center. hole in it, so I've got to use the handle on it. I know that's not the most accurate way to do it, but it's gonna have to do. And our tap drill size was just a little undersized, so hopefully that won't be a problem, although it's feeling pretty tight.
I know we may have to go to the next size.
That is pretty dang tight. Yeah, we're just going to break a tap if we keep it going like that. Alright, so that was a letter Q. That was a letter Q drill. Let me see what the next size up is that we can use. Okay, I got a letter R size drill in here. You're supposed to use a 8.5 or 8.5 millimeter for a M10 by 1.5, and I don't have one. I'll be ordering one as soon as we're done here, but this is what we got for now. All right, let's try this again. Well, it still doesn't like it. And that's an oversized drill for this size tap. Wow, I don't like that. Tell you what, I'm going to try a different tap. Alright, so this is a spiral flute. It's more of a bottoming style. It doesn't have a lot of taper to it. We're getting there. This is going to take a little while. Alright, I'll bring you guys back when we're there. Okay, we're going to try to part this off at 3/8 of an inch. Hold on to your seats. So that looks not bad. I'm going to put a little more on the other side here. Okay, got a parts catcher on there. A little bit warm. I put it in the vise to knock that burr off, so we got some funny little marks there, but hey, we did it. All right, I'm going to do the other one, and then I'll put this back in the chuck, and we'll do a little chamfer and a little cleanup. So that's the first time I've ever made these, and I think they came out pretty nice. Off camera I did a little deburring and a little wet and dry on the sharp edges, so they feel good. And I had enough material, I was able to make 3, so I've got 1 spare. Yeah, so what do you call that? Is that a thumb nut or a knobby nut? I like knobby nut. Let's go try them out on the DRO. There you go. Yeah, these are going to be just fine. Way better than having a regular nut on there. I like it. All right.